come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off because today I'll be unboxing and taking a first look at Cataphract, the reconquest of the Roman Empire from my friends over at GMT Games. So there is a lot of ancient warfare goodness in this box, and we will dive on in right after this. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Yes, I am Jeff McAleer back once again as your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. As I mentioned in the open, I am taking a look at Cataphract, the reconquest of the Roman Empire from GMT Games. The game is designed by Richard Berg and Mark Herman, with artwork and graphic design provided by Mike Lemick, Roger B. McGowan, and Mark Simonich. I do believe this has been out of print for quite some time, and I think there's actually even a bonus game in this box. This is for 2 players, ages 14 and up, plays in 2 to 6 hours, depending on what battle and how many players, no doubt, because I believe there is some solitaire suitability to this as well. It does carry an MSRP of $70. It is available right now from GMT Games as well. So let's swing on over to the other camera and get our first look at Cataphract. Here we have Great Battles of History, Volume 8. Cataphract, the reconquest of the Roman Empire, designed by Richard Berg and Mark Herman, with art direction by Roger B. McGowan. I believe this is new edition, right? I believe that's kind of a maybe like an expanded edition a little bit. Oh yeah, right here it says second printing. So it also contains the Justinian campaign game in this as well. So we're gonna flip this on over. I'm gonna get some of this shrink wrap off of here, and we will start taking a peek. I have to point out, I am not familiar with Cataphract. I am a big fan of ancient history, though, and Roman history and ancient Greece and things like that. So I am not going to read all of this text on the back, but it says Cataphract is defined as a heavily armored cavalryman modeled after the Sarmatians, Sarmatians, sorry, or the Persians. He was the ultimate mounted armored warrior of the ancient world, trained in both shock and missile combat. Cataphract portrays the development of the art of war wrought by the early Byzantine Empire during the reign of Emperor Justinian under his great generals Belisarius and Narses. During this period, the Byzantine Empire, also known as the Eastern Roman Empire for a brief period of time, recaptured a large portion of what was formerly the Western Roman Empire. Although successful in its attempts to reconquer Italy and North Africa, the Byzantine Empire's resources were insufficient to hold on to its gains. Cataphract covers all the major battles that define this era. So it is a medium complexity, very, very high solitaire suitability. It's for ages 14 and up. Oh, hey, so it won a Charles S. Roberts Award. I'm sorry, it was nominated in 1999. So we're going to hop on in here. All right, come on, you. There we go. So we've got a rule book. We have a scenario book, because there are quite a few battles, I believe, in the game. And we've got another rule book. So we've got a rule book for Justinian, and then we've got the rule book as well as a scenario book for Cataphract. So I'm taking a guess Justinian is probably more along the lines of a shorter game, kind of introduce you to the series. It's like we've got a bunch of maps, we've got loads and loads of counter sheets. So first off, let's take a look. I'm going to jump into the rule book here. And I am going to zoom in a little bit. So, yeah, so we can get a little better look here. Okay, so here we've got, this is the rules for Justinian, second edition. So it's giving us an introduction, talking about the components, Byzantine setup, barbarian setup, leaders and armies, Byzantine finances and manpower, and the barbarians. This is a little more along the lines of a traditional hex and counter war game, but with the Great Battles of History series, it's not just the same old stuff that we've seen since like 1975, and you'll actually see that right away when we take a look at the different counters for the different units. So let's take a look at the rule book for Cataphract. Kind of dive in. This is going to be much longer than the Justinian rule book. I can tell you that just from picking it up. All right, so once again, kind of getting like sequence of play, leader activation and orders, movement, facing and zone of controls. So you have missile combat, reaction fire. I was going to say, where's our shock because of the heavy cavalry? There we go. There's our shock right there. Harassment and dispersal tactics. So giving us an example of shock combat here. Advancing after combat. Effects of combat. Got some special rules as well. Dismounted cavalry, army discipline, rate of fire, swords. Okay. There we go. So 29 pages of rules here. Whereas here we've got 16 pages of rules for Justinian. And let's take a look at the scenario book, because hopefully we not only have scenarios, we also have some pretty cool designer notes and things like that. So as I mentioned, usually in these great battles of history releases, there's like a lot of battles. So let's see what we've got here. So we've got Battle of the Utris River. I am not even going to try to pronounce a lot of this stuff because it's like, oh yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay, I'll pronounce this one. Dara. So that's 3. This is 4, 5. The 6th scenario. 7. So we've got 7 battles here. 8. Is that the last one? Yep. Okay. So, and then it's talking about simple rules. So there we have the scenarios. Now we got a bunch of maps, which we'll take a look at the maps last because I'll need to unfold those out. So we've got, let's grab the counters. Hey, we got some baggies and 10-sided die. I always like the inserts for GMT games because there's always like artwork or something on the inserts. So I always like that. So we got some player aids. We'll take a look at those too. I'm gonna put these off to the side for a sec. So first of all, let's look at the player aids. And there we go. So looks like each player is going to get well, it says player aid card 2. I'm kind of curious, where's card 1? Is it over here? Ah, underneath here. Here we go. I found it. So here we've got the game turn track. Tracking looks like morale for routing for Byzantines and Romans, and then for other units down here, single-sided. Nice stock. There's the first player aid card. So it's giving us terrain chart, stacking chart as well. Opens this up. We get some Missile range and results, feigned retreat summary, clash of spears and swords. We've got shock, superiority chart, shock combat results, cohesion hits, leader casualties, I should say. Die roll of doom. Jeez. All right. It's the die roll of doom. So that's the first one. So we've got two of these. We also have the second player aid card right here. So we've got leadership checks, army discipline chart, line composition chart, summary of orders and line commands, and command summary charts. So each player will have one of these. Then we actually have a player aid card for Justinian right here, showing the sequence of play, activation phase, random events, and revolt. There we go. I almost have the impression now. I'm not sure. We might get a better idea as we take a look at this. It almost seems like Justinian is more of a much more epic strategic level game as opposed to Cataphract is more each of the battles. You're playing each of the battles. I'm not positive because I got to be honest, I haven't played either one. So we are going to get a better look when we start looking at the maps. I think that's going to be our giveaway. So let's start looking at some of these counter sheets because, as I mentioned, and I will zoom in for a better look at these. Even though this kind of has a look of kind of a traditional hex and counter game, you're going to be able to see that these counters have really cool artwork. There's a lot of information on these counters as well. And I will zoom in closer on the last counter sheet so you can get a better look. So we also have the dual-sided. Very cool. I definitely love how we've got different artwork. We don't just have some sort of a symbol representing like, light cavalry or heavy cavalry. But there's artwork on each one of these. So we've got a half counter sheet here. Got a full counter sheet as well. Oops, upside down though. Once again, this is going to be dual-sided. And of course, depending on what faction, what nation, determines the color of these as well. The background color, I should say. So I'll put that off to the side because here we've got informational counters as shield wall counter popped out. So it looks like these are boats. Might be. So once again, dual-sided here. And these are the tokens, or I shouldn't say tokens, counters. Why am I saying tokens? Because I was looking at some of the informational. I tend to say informational tokens, and then like units I call counters. So here we've got the Justinian counter sheet. So there we go. Front and back. All right. So I will zoom in a little bit. And so you can get a much better look at. Well, that's about as far in as I can zoom, gang. But just to kind of give you an idea of how nice these counters, the artwork and everything is. I don't think I say it enough. I think Roger B. McGowan does just some bang up work as far as the graphic layouts and graphic design of many of the GMT games. Just really, really nicely done. Okay, so we've got a lot of different counter sheets. And let's take a look at the maps. Because we have quite a few different maps here. I'm going to zoom back out because I'm sure we're going to need some space. See how much space we're going to need. Okay, so this is Battle of Dara. These are paper maps. I know some people aren't. I I like mounted maps, but it's okay. I mean, if something like this where we've got so many battles, and it effectively we're looking at it. To me, it looks like it's basically two completely separate games. I'm not so upset about there being just paper maps. So we've got the Battle of Dar on that side. Oh, we've got another battle on this side. So there we go. And then these are dual-sided. So not much going on here except for a river dividing, probably plains. Flip on over this side here. The Euphrates. So all in all, there were 4 of the battles. On that map. Santa Galicia. So this would I would take a guess. This is a naval battle here. So unless they're just fighting over here. Although there aren't any hexes. There is the city. So on this side, we've got right, another battles. Zoom out a bit more. There we go. So there you can see it's basically the 4 sheets of the map. About 11 by 8, I'd say. And then on the other side, looks like, yeah, this is a pretty big battlefield. Although down here it's pretty sparse except for like forest down there. So there were 3 more of the battles on that. Then suddenly we get, here's Justinian. And I'm going to take a guess on the back. We got another battle. Yep. Sure enough. The Battle of the Utrus River. And there's no river. It's just blank. Blank terrain. Okay, but see, as I said, I thought these were 2 completely different games. So we've got Justinian as well as Cataphract. So let's see. That's how far I can actually get out here. There we go. So kind of give you a better idea. So here we go. So this is Justinian. Cool. Very cool. So that's actually a pretty good deal. So you're effectively getting 2 completely different game systems in one box, but with very similar. Well, I shouldn't say similar. It's pretty much the exact same kind of topic. The reconquest, I should say, of much of the Roman Empire. So there we go. All right, so we've got 3 map sheets. We've got the turn track. We've got the player aids. We've got the player aid for Justinian. We have 3.5 counter sheets, a scenario book, a rule book for Cataphract, as well as a rule book for Justinian. And that is what we find when we take everything out of the new edition of Cataphract from GMT Games. Let's swing on over to the other camera and I will wrap up. There's your first look at Cataphract, the reconquest of the Roman Empire from GMT Games. Do want to mention that if you have any interest whatsoever in Cataphract, you may want to grab it sooner rather than later. This has been out of print, I believe, a long time. And GMT Games does not produce huge print runs. Their print runs are not as large as many other companies out there. So if you are interested, grab it while you can. You don't want to be looking for this on the secondary market or just being out of luck. Of course, I will do my best to have a review of Cataphract in the near future. All right, there you have it for this time out. Don't forget to catch me live right here on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 7 p.m. Central, as I bring you the Daily Dope and the latest gaming news of the day. If you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you do, don't forget, ring that little bell, because it'll notify you not only when I upload standalone videos such as this, it'll also tell you when the Daily Dope goes live. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And of course, until next time, happy trails. Oh, I see you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking on our logo right here. If you'd like to check out some of the most recent episodes of the Daily Dope, you can check out this playlist right up here. And of course, if you want to take a look at one of our standalone videos that YouTube is recommending for you, then by all means, click right here. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and thank you very much for watching.